Well, hello everyone. Let's start with our conference. Well, mechanical creatures. We cannot deny the law of recurrence in our lives. This law of recurrence is one of the 48 mechanical laws that govern us, that control us on our Earth planet. Right? Certainly, in each day of our existence, exists a repetition of events, states of consciousness, same words, same desires, same thoughts, same instincts, same emotions, etc., etc. When we talk about the law of recurrence, we are talking about repetition. And it makes us mechanical creatures. And this is governed by a law called the law of recurrence. Same words. Same thoughts. Same emotions. Same states of consciousness. Right. Same desires. In fact, same desires. Etc., etc., etc. Right? And when we don't self-observe ourselves, it's obvious that we cannot realize about them. It is not possible to recognize them, to finally accept them. Right? That's why we continue being mechanical creatures. Right? This is an incessant daily repetition. Same words, same inner states, same emotions, same actions, same depressions, etc., etc., etc. Right? Remember, this is an incessant daily repetition, controlled and governed by the law of recurrence. Right? Something else. To break or to begin breaking this law of recurrence, there is a practical tool called self-observation. Again and again and all over again. If we sincerely want to change, to transform ourselves radically, from the bottom of our hearts, it's necessary to put in practice, to activate this sixth sense in each one of ourselves. The one that doesn't want to self-observe himself, at the same time, neither want to transform themselves. Himself, herself, etc., etc. And for sure, that person won't work on himself. Right? It's incredible, but it's true. There are a lot of people, too many people that want to transform themselves without working on themselves. Yes, our sixth sense, self-observation, is the first practical tool to achieve a radical change. But if we don't work on ourselves, how could we change? It's necessary to be conscious about all these inner and continuous and incessant repetitions. Alright? To see, to recognize our own mechanicity, to recognize how mechanical we are, how robots we are, how puppets we are. Many times we may believe that we are conscious people. But conscious people don't feel envy, don't carry resentments, prides, fears, all those fake feelings of freedom, all those negative thoughts, repeating the same words daily. So the first step to break our own mechanicity of not being mechanical creatures is to observe them, to accept them. When we accept each one of those inner psychological, emotional, sexual states that we do carry inside, we are breaking the process, the mechanical process. Little by little, remember, this is something gradual. Right? So if any one of us want to transform ourselves, it's necessary to firstly work on ourselves. Yes, psychologically. And the first tool, the first step, the first stage of our inner change is to work with the self-observation, which means to observe, to detect each one of these repetitions, to be conscious about the reality that this is an incessant repetition day per day. We cannot deny that any one of us, each one of us, has the right to the authentic happiness of the spirit. Okay, that's true. But how could we deserve it? How could we achieve it if we don't work continuously with infinite patience and authentic discipline gradually? For sure, this is something gradual, little by little, grain by grain. If we don't work in ourselves, right? When we start with this process of the self-observation, we start modifying our reactions facing the different events that we face daily in life. Right? It's necessary to modify our reactions. By modifying our reactions, facing in the different type of interactions with the different events of life, We stop the mechanism. Right? And at the same time, we start changing the way we think. When we accept each one of all these different types of psychological defects, we stop our own mechanicity, and at the same time, gradually, little by little, we change the way we think. And that's crucial. That's essential if seriously, if sincerely, we don't want to give up on our inner change. To finally achieve our self-realization, the authentic freedom comes only when arrives the elimination of the ego. As long as we have ego inside, we are not free. We like freedom, for sure. But until we don't eliminate our whole ego, we are in our own psychological jail. Mechanical creatures. Right? If we honestly and seriously want to know ourselves, it's necessary to start observing ourselves. There must be a beginning in everything. And starting by observing our behavior on any day of our life is a good start. We are not saying here that it's not necessary to self-observe ourselves every single day, for sure, yes it is. And if possible, from instant to instant. Just that in everything there must be a beginning. Let's choose one day of our lives, because this is a good start. Alright? Yes. Yes, let's start self-observing our behavior on any of our life in the interaction, in relation with the inner reactions that control us and govern us from instant to instant. That's the beginning of breaking our own mechanicity. In everything, there must be a beginning. And if honestly we want to seriously know ourselves, the first step is applying our own self-observation to seriously achieve our own self-discovering, our own self-knowledge. Right? At least for a few minutes. At least for a few minutes. Don't let our psychological defects to control our lives, our words, the way we act, the way we move, the way we feel, the way we think. At least for a few minutes. Because it'll change, for sure, many circumstances for the rest of our lives, at least for a few minutes. Don't let, at least for a few minutes, don't let your psychological effects to control your life, to govern your life. Don't give them the permission to continue governing your life. Just observe them, accept them, recognize them in order to break your own mechanicity, inner mechanicity. Then remember, analysis, reflection, remembering that everything without exception passes in life will help us a lot, for sure, will help us so much. And the inner petition to the Divine Mother, when we feel a fear, any desire of saying a word with hate, resentment, rancor, pride, and so on, immediately please remember the inner petition mentally from the bottom of your heart to your own Divine Mother, and you'll feel the change immediately. Alright? But if we continue believing seriously that we are good people, we'll never change. The worst mistake here for any person that seriously wants to achieve, to deserve his or her own self-realization, is to believe he or she is a good people. That's the worst mistake here, due to the fact, due to the reality, that without exception, without a doubt, we are full of psychological defects inside. And they also come from the 7 capital defects: envy, laziness, lust, greed, gluttony, etc., etc., pride, etc., etc. Alright? Remember, if we honestly believe that we are good people, that we never behave in an unconscious way, in a wrong way, will never change. Remember, we are full of psychological defects, emotional defects, sexual defects. That's only possible to detect through the self-observation. This is our first practical tool to accept finally who we honestly are, and then start the change, the authentic and real change. Have you seen something here, for example? I don't know. I don't think we can't deny the reality that sometimes we are mean people. In a different instant, we are irritable people. Some minutes later, due to any influence of the external world, for example, we are splendid people. In some other moment, for example, we are benevolent people. For example, yes, this is a reality. A benevolent person. Right? Then, due to any circumstance, due to any external event, we become ourselves in scandalous people. Slanderous people. And this is our life from instant to instant. Unfortunately, this is our life from minute to minute, from instant to instant. In some other time of our life, we feel envy, resentment, hate, etc., etc., lustful, and so on. This is what we should detect, our own mechanism, our own repetitions, in order to delete them. But first it's necessary to recognize them, to accept them. If we don't accept them, firstly, we'll never change. It doesn't matter, for example, if we read hundreds of books about esotericism, about spirituality, about anything in what we believe. Because only the practice makes perfect. We must remember that always. And this is a practical tool of radical transformation, of radical change, self-observation. Right? We have people of every type inside of each one of us. Right? Psychological defects of every type. And our personality is only a puppet. That's it, something mechanical. No more than that. It's necessary to behave consciously, at least for some minutes, in any day of our life. Remember something. When we are in this inner state, immediately we light our divine spark, the 3% of consciousness. Only by starting with this inner state. So continuously, if possible, from instant to instant, if we work with our self-observation, at the same time, we light our divine spark. And then, analysis, reflection, recognition, acceptation of all these inner psychological agents, of these psychological defects. And then to continue with our inner work, remember the inner petition mentally from the bottom of your heart to your Divine Mother. When you detect with your self-observation, for example, a lower emotion, a sexual desire, in a negative way, in a wrong way, that you have the temptation, for example, of saying a word full of resentment, full of rancor, full of pride, immediately, now that you already detected it, please remember the inner petition, my Divine Mother, please delete me this defect. My Divine Mother, please delete me this one. Alright, and you feel the change immediately. It means that you're breaking your own mechanicity and you're becoming yourself in a new person gradually, grain by grain. Remember, please. This is something to work with infinite patience, literally, because we are full of ego, full of mechanicity inside, and it's necessary, not only for our own good, but also for a common good, to break our own inner mechanicity. And it's only possible through the detection and then the elimination of our ego. To become ourselves, conscious people. Alright? When we self-observe ourselves and don't do what any psychological defect wants, it's clear that definitely We stop being machines. We are not human machines anymore. If somebody treats us with good, nice, and positive words, what is our reaction? A mechanic reaction. Yes, we smile as well, right? But if something usually is aggressive with us, is treating us very badly, we respond to the person the same way, in a mechanical way. That's a reality. We cannot deny it. That's true. So first of all, detect it, to accept it. And then the inner petition to your Divine Mother, that female part of God inside of each one of us, that is ready to delete all those mechanical reactions. Remember, this is not only something for our own good, but also for a common good. Right? Have you seen our mechanism, for example, on Fridays or Saturdays? Emotionally, mentally, we are with a nice mindset, all right? That probably we don't have necessarily that same nice mindset on Mondays, on Tuesdays, all right? What happened on Christmas? We act in a specific way. Not all of us, for sure. But many people all around the world live in a specific mechanism, for example, on Christmas. But that mindset, those emotions, thoughts that are a reality on Christmas season, probably don't appear on January, March, or May. Even the way we get dressed is different many times on Christmas than on May, June, February, January. Alright? That is something mechanical. I am not affirming here that it's wrong or negative to have fun on Christmas. No. For sure, it's great to live Christmas with a correct mindset. But why we cannot keep the same mindset, that nice attitude on May, on February, on March? Why? Because those are cycles, mechanical cycles. Let's awake those nice mindsets also in January, also in May, also in August, also in June. Why not? It needs to be done consciously, and that's possible. The authentic happiness is possible if we work on ourselves from instant to instant, or at least gradually, some minutes during the day. And this is a purification process that takes practice. Little by little, gradually, daily, if we put ourselves under this inner state, and then the inner petition, as I already told you, as I already said to you, we'll feel the change. We'll feel different. We'll behave in a different way. For sure. Excuse me, but this is a reality. We are full of thousands and even millions of different people inside of each one of us. it's necessary to delete it. But firstly, detect it. To recognize it, to accept it, and then remember the inner petition. Many unpleasant circumstances are possible to modify if at least in one specific moment, in one day of our lives, we are enough conscious. If we do it like that, we'll modify our destinies, sure, our lives. Until the day we self-observe ourselves continuously, from instant to instant, to feel the change inside and to break this mechanism. Because all of us, without exception, are puppets. Even when we believe we are good people, even when we believe that, seriously, we want what we do what we want to do with our lives. That's a fantasy. Yes, that's an open possibility, but only for all those that believe their psychological defects entirely. We should work on ourselves seriously, because gradually it's possible to feel the change inside. Thank you very much for attending again our conference. Have an amazing day. Yes, for sure. And if there is any question, any doubt about it, please let me know them, and I will respond you shortly. Bye.